Yes, I have two Suzukis and they are both 750. For a quick background, I've owned most of the Japanese brands. So I've had a Kawasaki, a couple of Hondas, 3 Hondas in fact, and obviously the Suzukis, and I had a Yamaha. So why do I have two 750s? It's because the 750 in itself is unique. I think it's a fantastic balance between a 600 and a 1000, which I'll talk more about this one in particular. But Suzuki in itself, ever since I was a kid, I always liked the Suzuki GSXR, going back to the mid 80s, early 90s. I think in the early 90s, the CBR 900, the Tiger, I became a big fan of that. But the GSXR, for whatever reason, irrational reason, I've always been a big fan of. So the gsxs750, that's my daily, and the gsxr750, that's my baby. So I've got my daily and my baby. My daily, as you can see, has had a small crash. That was my wife kindly reversed into it. I parked behind the car, which I shouldn't have done, even though the car has reverse sensors, reverse camera, and she knew it was there. But anyway, so she crashed, and I can't be bothered to fix it. It's my daily, it's going to get scratched up. I've owned this bike for over 3 years now, since new. Fantastic motorbike. It's a beast. It's a beast without being a true beast. It gives you the sensation, the feeling of being brutal. You put your throttle, even at the low revs, and the sound is just fantastic, and the reaction is fantastic. You can really screw that all of the time in nearly every riding condition, even in traffic. I go downtown in Bangkok, and I'm quicker than all the scooters. I'm filtering through the traffic faster than all the scooters. As soon as the traffic breaks out, I obviously accelerate much faster than all the smaller bikes, and I have a blast on this. In any gear, in any road conditions, this all the time feels like you can just screw it, and it's a lot of fun, and you can get the best out of it. Whereas this is a completely different animal. This is so relaxed. On this bike, I can happily ride at the speed limit. I can happily ride in lower revs. It's really, I don't know why, but I guess it's like, if we were to do an analogy, that might be a pit bull. A pit bull, it knows it's aggressive, it knows it's the big daddy. So most of the time it can walk around totally calm, knowing it's in full control of everything. Whereas that is like, I don't know, maybe a boxer wants to be the big daddy but isn't. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but yeah, the GSXR, it feels smooth as hell. You just keep your wrist on the throttle, pinned on the throttle, and it keeps the rev perfectly. It keeps the speed absolutely perfectly. So it's a great cruiser, and my wife and I were going for a spin now. The kids are in school, so we're going to go for a couple of hours, and she only wants to go on the GSXR. For her as a pillion, it's super comfortable. She feels that she's got a commanding view of the road. She feels that the bike is very smooth. Honestly, I can drive this like a limousine driver would drive a limousine, very, very smoothly, beautiful through the gears, not a problem. So yeah, the GSXR is not what you'd imagine being one of those crazy, all-out, dangerous bikes. It's actually one of those bikes where you can happily cruise on it. However, when you do pull the throttle back, when you do give it some pump, it goes, and it's almost like a warp speed. And it's really weird because my CBR 600 RR, I had a 2008 model RR, which to me I think is the best of all the CBRs made to date, of all the 600 CBRs made to date. That one, you had the sensation. It was building up through the revs, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, all the way to the red line of 16,500. You felt the sensation throughout. Whereas this GSXR, it's a bit different. It's extremely frightening before you get the sensation. It just suddenly moves into the higher revs and the higher speeds in a nice kind of a linear way, but you feel the sensation kind of after you get to those ridiculous speeds. So all of a sudden you're in dangerous territory where you kind of feel the danger, and it happens so quickly and for such a short period. Whereas the GSXR, the GSXS, I can screw that. I can really take it from 4,000 all the way to the red line, 12,000. And the entire journey, you feel it's ripping your shoulders off, it's ripping your head off, it's aggressive, and you're enjoying that entire move, and it's kind of long lasting. Whereas this, it's a blip, bam, boom, you're there, and you gotta let go then. So it's really a bike more for the open roads. I'm living in Bangkok, suburban. It's very a lot of traffic. The roads are not so fantastic over here. On the GSXS, I can happily reach just going to work and coming home. I live about 10 kilometers from work, so every day I commute to work, and I can easily get to 180, 200 kilometers an hour on the GSXS. I have more considerable time frame within the 10-12 kilometers where I'm really screwing the hell out of it, and the GSXR, it's not that. I can get to maybe 200 kilometers an hour, but it's for a very short period of time. It's for a very short stretch of the road before I have to calm things down. So but to be honest with you, I don't use it for work. I'll use the GSXR just for special occasions. It's a 2007 model, 148 brake horsepower, 164 kilos. It weighs nothing. The seat height is only 810 millimeters, so it feels absolutely tiny. When I sit on it, my wife says I make it look like a kid's bike. It feels really small, really comfortable, really plush. No weight to it whatsoever. You just look at where you want to go and it goes. It's extremely responsive. It's just a 10 out of 10 motorbike. No, I'll give it 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because it doesn't give the same sensations as the GSXS. So the GSXS has a 2005 engine, gsxr750. It's been detuned to 115 brake horsepower, and it's heavy. It weighs 214 kilos, if I remember rightly. But it's got so much torque. It really, really does. And it just feels so much fun. So for my daily and commute, I go to work and I come home and grinning. I go downtown quickly, and I get there, and I get off the bike and I have a closer connection to God because I pray, thank you for getting me here in one piece. So it ticks so many boxes. Nothing I would change except for the quality of build. To be honest with you, the GSXS, I think because they've kept it at a very low price point, very competitive price point to the competition. If you're looking at the Z900, the Kawasaki, and MT-09, or even the MT-07, the Yamaha. So they've kept the price point very, very reasonable, and I think they've gone a bit cheap on the plastic. Some of the plastics are actually lightning in color from the sun. There's some scuff marks on the tank, which is, I guess, inevitable. Yeah, and over here, why would that be happening to my frame? So I need to get that fixed, to be honest with you, before it all rusts. So I'm going to get that seen to this week. But even on the exhaust, you can kind of see. So quality wise, again over here, okay, to be expected, I guess. It's nearly 13,000 kilometers, just over 3 years old. The GSXR though is beautifully made, really, really beautifully made. It just feels quality. The plastics do feel very light, but they're firmly attached, and it's fantastic. I'm gonna start them up and let you hear. Okay, we'll do a startup of the GSXR. I've got to pull the lever and press the start, just bear with me. Okay, maybe now. There we go. Only 10,500 kilometers. It's a 2007 model. It's only had 2 previous owners. The first owner owned it for 11 years, the second owner for 1 year. So it's like new, really is. I'll leave that purring for a bit and then we'll rev it up. I've got the GSXR in the background revving. Let's take a look at this one. And I don't need to pull the lever, and it's an easy start, so you just press and let go. There we go, started. That's my t-shirt reflecting. Suzuki! The rev limiter, 11,500, the red line, I reach that very often. Very, very often. Whereas on the GSXR, okay, so we're looking at 15,000. Very rarely do I get to that. My wife and I, we went for a bike ride last week with a bike group here in Thailand, here in Bangkok, and we got to, I think, 220 kilometers an hour, and I did reach the red line in first and second gear, and I was screaming. It was a lot of fun, but it's a rare occasion for that to happen. So let's give this a bit of welly. And that beautiful sound is coming from this beautiful exhaust. Have a closer listen. So yeah, that is fun. That is fun. I need to put the silencer in though, because it's a bit too loud. Above 8,000 revs, it is loud. Standard exhaust, and this is a lot of fun, this motorbike. I cannot stress that enough, how much fun this motorbike is. So let's take a listen over here. It sounds very tame in comparison, but when you're on the go, you feel all the bodies opening up in the engine, and you hear the exhaust, and it's very addictive, and you want to be above the 10. It's very, very addictive. And nearer to the exhaust, let's take a listen. You can hear a lot of that noise is actually the engine. Yeah, a lot of that noise is the engine. It sounds phenomenal. So there you go. That's a very brief review as to the as to why I like the 750s. I feel they're a very good balance between the 600 and the 1000. Why I've got two. One's my daily, one's my baby. And the key differences between them is this is brutal. You can just screw it all day long in any roads, any conditions. This one you can just cruise on it so comfortably. More than that, a lot more. This is much more comfortable. The GSXR is much more comfortable, and on the open roads, oh, what a bike! So there you go. Both fabulous bikes. Both highly, highly recommended. Thank you.